name and spell, please?
Detective Sergeant Matthew Scutti, SCU.
Matthew and CCH.
Yes. Thank you, Detective Sergeant. Ms. Crum.
Thank you. Good
Morning.
Morning. What do you work for?
The Ocean County Sheriff's Office with the Crime Scene Investigation Unit.
And in what capacity do you work for them?
I am a sergeant with so I'm a supervisor for the unit.
What is the Ocean County Sheriff's Department's crime scene unit?
We are a full-service forensic agency for the entire county. We help with investigations in every town, along with the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office and the Ocean County Department of Corrections as well.
And I think you said this, but the crime scene unit falls under the Sheriff's Department?
That is correct. We are a function of the investigative unit of the Sheriff's Department.
Prior to becoming employed with the Sheriff's Department, did you have any formal education?
Graduated high school, some college degree, and then I went to the Ocean County Police Academy.
Okay. What year did you go to the Ocean County Police Academy?
2007.
And after going to the Ocean County Police Academy in 2007, what did you do with respect to your career next?
I spent first 2 years in the courthouse in the judicial unit. After that, in 2010, I was transferred to the crime scene investigative unit, where we then received specialized training through the New Jersey State Police, as well as various other trainings throughout our career between the state and nationwide. And I've been there since 2010, with 1 year. When I was promoted in 2018, I was moved over to the warrants unit.
What were you before you were promoted? What was your title?
I was sheriff's officer and a sheriff's officer detective.
What types of trainings have you had with respect to crime scene investigation?
Every detective goes to the New Jersey State Police Crime Scene School. That's our initial training into the crime scene. So I received that in April of 2010. That's a 6-week class, which I then graduated. Over the years, I was able to attend the medical legal death investigation class at St. Louis University, blood spatter, shooting reconstruction, death investigation, anywhere from just learning techniques on how to get better at property crimes all the way up to homicide investigations.
About how many investigations do you think you've been involved in since being with the crime scene unit?
Thousands.
So what role does do you call it CSI?
Yes, CSI.
Okay, the crime scene unit or CSI play in investigations in Ocean County?
So in Ocean County, our main function is we are in charge of all the physical parts of the investigation. That would be the scenes, the physical evidence. In cases of death investigations, we would be the ones that manipulate and photograph the body with the medical examiner's office. But we basically run our own investigation that runs parallel with everyone else in terms of we are more of the physical type of the investigation as opposed to the interviews and interrogation part of an investigation.
And how does the crime scene unit become involved in an investigation typically?
We are notified by the initial responding agency, so either the town would call us, and then in some circumstances, we'll get called directly by the prosecutor's office to respond to an investigation.
Did you become involved in the investigation into the death of Corey Micciolo?
Yes.
And do you know when you became involved?
On April 2nd, 2021, approximately 6 p.m., we received a call for a death of a 6-year-old down at Southern Ocean Medical Center in Ocean County, Stafford Township.
After receiving that notification, what did you do?
Immediately dispatched 2 of my detectives to the hospital to gather information and also document the condition of the body at that time.
Now, as a sergeant in the crime scene unit, is your role different than that of a detective?
So my job is to basically coordinate the investigation, the investigative efforts, coordinate information that's coming from other sources such as the prosecutor's office or the local police department, and relay that to my officers, and then also whatever my detectives are finding, I'm mainly the filter, relaying it back to them, on top of placing them where they need to be, reviewing search warrants with them, and going over the scenes with them in total.
So you said you sent detectives to Southern Ocean Medical Center?
Yes.
Okay, when did you do that?
Approximately 6 o'clock, they were dispatched down there to go
Do
down
you,
there.
do you recall who you sent there?
Yes, Detective Tyler Walsh and Detective Joseph Chester.
And at that point, what, if anything, did you do?
At that point, I started making contact with the other agencies, such as the prosecutor's office and Barnegat Township Police Department, as well as keeping in touch with my detectives who were in touch with the medical examiner's office at that time.
Did you do anything else after that you described?
I then went down there and met up with the investigative team at that point.
Okay, where did you meet them?
900 Barnegat Boulevard in Barnegat Township.
Do you know about what time you went there?
Roughly around 10:30 that night we were there,
On April 2nd?
on April 2nd.
Okay, and why did you go there?
That was what we were described as the last place where Corey was. That was his father's residence. So that was where we were going back to do a search of the residence to look for what possibly could give us information as to what happened.
And when you got there, who was there?
There was Detective Joseph Mitchell, Detective Purcell from the Barnegat Township Police Department, and as well as officers from the Barnegat Township Police Department who were securing the scene.
Okay. What do you mean by they were securing the scene?
So once we figured out where we need to go in any investigation, we try to keep it as pristine as we can from the condition that it was in. So what we do is we send either the local town will already be there, or we'll send an officer there, and basically that officer secures the scene, not allowing anyone in or out until we've done a search of the residence.
So there wouldn't have been anybody walking around inside prior to your arrival?
No.
What was anyone or anything in the residence when police arrived?
When police arrived and when they made entry, there was a dog inside the residence that was secured by the Barnegat Township Animal Control.
From the outside of the residence, did you make any observations?
The only observations was it was a apartment complex, consisted of many, many buildings, two-story apartment complexes with the tan siding, and there really wasn't much notable concern outside.
Was there an apartment number affixed to the exterior?
Yes,
And did you go inside?
yes.
What happened when you went inside?
When we go inside, we do an initial, first the responding Barnegat Township police officers do initial clearing for safety to make sure that there's no one inside hiding or anyone else injured inside the residence. Then at that point, we begin our search process. The scene then gets turned over to us once it's made safe, and we document everything that we see through photographs and reports.
Did you make any observations of the residence once you were inside?
Just that it was a standard apartment. It was a second story, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a kitchen, a family room, but nothing really jumped out at us at that moment.
Other than visual observations, did you make any other observations with any of your other senses?
Yes, there was a smell emanating from what we kind of narrowed down to the child's bedroom of the lingering odor of either cleaned up or dried vomit.
And how were you able to narrow it down to that location within the apartment?
The smell was stronger coming from there. We didn't see anything, but we were able to smell it.
So you didn't find any vomit?
No.
What else did you do when you were in the apartment that night?
We did a quick initial search of the residence. We didn't want to go through it with a fine-tooth comb just yet because we had an autopsy scheduled for 9 a.m. the next morning. So in this case, because we didn't have much information as to why we had a deceased 6-year-old, we decided as the investigative team that it would be better to do a quick cursory search of the apartment and then secure it for the night and go back the next day.
What did the cursory search consist of?
We're basically looking for anything that may jump out at us at that point, and also looking in areas to see if there's something we can find that may lead us to what happened. So with the apartment being pretty minimally furnished and having minimal items inside of it, it was a rather quick search, but we were able to look inside the top layer of the garbage can, as well as the family room and the bedrooms.
While you were there, did you seize any evidence?
That night, phones were taken, as well as a paper that was from Hackensack Meridian Hospital for Corey Micciolo.
And did you take any pictures?
Yes.
Now, were you actually the one taking the pictures, or did you assign someone to take the pictures?
No, Detective Chester, who was at the hospital, was with me, and he was assigned to do photographs.
And were you with him while he did that?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness, please?
Yes, certainly.
Sergeant Scutti, I'm approaching you with what's been marked for identification as S67. Put them down here for you. S68. 69. 70. 71. 24, which is already in evidence. 72. 73, 80, and 74. Could you do me a favor and take a look at the exhibits I just gave you and tell me if you recognize them?
Yes.
Are those the photographs that you were referring to that were taken in your presence on the evening of April 2nd, 2021?
Yes.
And do those photographs accurately depict how the apartment appeared when you were in it on that evening?
Yes.
Could you briefly, and also use the exhibit number, tell me what each picture is?
So S67 is the approach to the family room coming up the steps from the front door entrance. S68 is the family room facing back towards the area where we had just entered the apartment. S69 is the family room transitioning to the kitchen, showing the relation of the kitchen to the family room. S70 is the family room facing towards the back wall of the apartment. S71 was the child's bedroom. S24 is the paper that says my chart from Hackensack Meridian Hospital. S72 is the garbage can as it appeared before we did any searching to it. S73 is the garbage can with the plastic bag that was on top of it removed. S80 is the garbage can from the child's bedroom. And S74 is the seal we place on the door when we exit for the evening.
Your Honor, request to move those items into evidence, understanding that S24 was already moved through Ms. Micciolo, and then publish all of those photographs for the jury.
There's no objection, Your Honor. S67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, and 80 in evidence. And I'm sorry, and 74 as well.
Sergeant Scutti, we're looking at S67. Now, I know that you gave a brief description, but the jurors couldn't see what you were looking at. Can you please describe for the jury what we see, and if at any point in time you feel like you need to get closer to point, I'll ask the court if you may do that, okay?
So S67 is, because it was a second floor apartment, there was a staircase that was two parts. And this is the second part of the staircase from the landing heading towards the family room of the apartment.
Next exhibit. S68, could you please tell us what is seen here?
So S68 is the family room, and the way we take our pictures is we always show where we're going to where we came from. So this is now showing back towards that staircase, you can see in the background by the door, and also it shows the location of the kitchen as well.
And when you were inside of this area of the apartment, could you tell me what, if anything, you observed?
It was furnished with a couch, end table, along with a coffee table. There were some cups on the coffee table as well that looked like they had been drank out of during the day. And then the kitchen over to the right-hand side was just your standard apartment kitchen.
Next exhibit, please. S69, could you tell us what we see here?
So S69 is now moving towards the kitchen. That shows the transition between the family room and the kitchen. The pictures are made to show for relation, as well as that depicts the garbage can that is in the kitchen against the wall.
Is there anything on the ground depicted in the photograph from your recollection of being in the apartment that night?
Gray pair of sweatpants, it looks like.
Next photograph. Could you tell us what is depicted in S70?
So this is the family room headed towards the back of the apartment, showing the location of where the other rooms would be in the house. Residence.
The next photograph, please. S71, could you describe S71?
So S71 was the bed in the rear bedroom, which was the child's bedroom. This is showing the bed in the condition that we found it. This was not searched or altered before we were in there. And it shows the pillow and blankets on top, as well as the magazine rack and the end table next to the bed.
Is this exactly how that room appeared when police responded to the apartment?
Upon our entry, that is how the bedroom appeared.
And is this the room that you described the stronger smell of vomit coming from?
Yes.
Next photograph, please. S72, could you describe to us what is seen here?
S72 is the garbage can with a white plastic bag on top of it in the kitchen.
S73.
It's the same garbage can we took the top layer off, which was the white garbage bag, and it shows the garbage that's inside of the garbage can.
Did you disturb anything in that garbage can aside from removing the top layer, that white plastic bag?
No, that was all we did that evening.
Okay. And from being in the apartment that night, what, if anything, did you observe in that de-layered garbage can?
We could see a McDonald's bag, and as well as some other garbage that looked like some stationery items and various garbage items, including cleaning wipes. But other than that, we didn't really dig too much into the garbage that night.
Next photograph, please. S80, could you describe what that is, please?
That is the garbage can in the child's bedroom, which is empty.
Next photograph, please.
So this was the paperwork on the kitchen counter, which was the Hackensack Meridian My Health Chart for Corey Micciolo.
And how many pages was that?
1 page.
Next photograph, please. Okay. Now, could you please describe what's depicted in S74 and why that's significant to you?
So when we decide to clear the residence for the night, we secure it. And how we do that is we have not only visual contact on it with an officer, we also put a seal on the door for integrity. That seal is signed, timed and dated, as long as photographed, to show that that next morning when we return, or whenever we return, that seal is still intact and no one has entered that apartment since we left.
Thank you. After being at the apartment in Barnegat on the night of April 2nd, What, if any, other involvement did you have in this investigation?
So at that night, we sent another detective up to Englishtown to the mother's residence.
Why did you do that?
For the same reason we went to the father's residence, we still are trying to develop a story on what happened, so we knew that these were the two places that the child would reside, so we then did the same thing which we did there, is we went and searched it.
Do you know where that residence was located?
Englishtown, New Jersey, I don't remember the exact address. If I could have my report.
So you drafted a report with respect to this case?
One of our officers did draft a report.
And do you review those reports as the sergeant?
Yes.
And if I showed you that report, would it refresh your recollection with regard to where that location was?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness, please?
Certainly.
Detective, or Sergeant, I'm sorry, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as S-108. Do you recognize S-108?
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
That is the report authored by Detective Tyler Walsh on reference to the search at 58 Oxford Court in Englishtown, New Jersey.
So I guess it refreshed your recollection about where it was?
Yes.
Okay, that's the report you reviewed?
Yes.
All right, thank you. As a result of reviewing that and assigning the tasks, are you aware of what was done at that residence?
Very similar to what we did. He was allowed into the residence by the mother and the grandmother, Corey Micciolo, and her mother. He then searched the entire basement, which is where we resided, and did the same thing that we do everywhere else: photograph and search and look for anything that may stand out of the ordinary.
What, if any, other involvement did you have in this investigation?
We wrapped up after that, and then the next morning, which would be later in the morning after the search at Englishtown, the autopsy was conducted at 9 a.m. on Saturday the 3rd.
April 3rd?
April 3rd.
Okay. And did you go to that?
Yes.
And when you went, where was that located?
Community Medical Center in Toms River.
And when you got there, was anybody else there, or did you go with anyone else?
There were two detectives from my unit, Detective Daniel Lesnikowski and Detective Ralph Laudicina, as well as Detective Purcell from Barnegat Township Police Department, Detective Dennis Mitchell, Detective Joe Mitchell, Sergeant John Carroll, and Lieutenant Brian Haggerty of the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office.
Now, while you were there, what was your understanding of what your role was?
So our role in the autopsy is we basically work hand in hand with the medical examiner, which was who does the autopsy, and we do all the photographs and collection of any evidence from that autopsy.
Were photographs taken?
Yes.
Okay. Who took the photographs?
Detective Lesnikowski.
And were you in his presence while he was taking them?
Yes.
Right. And who directed him to take the photographs that he took?
We have a set of standard photographs we take on every autopsy, then everything else after that is done at the direction of the medical examiner, pathologist conducting the examination.